I'm doing the hustle. Can you tell? Can you tell what I'm doing? Because it's time to hustle. It's time to hustle for round 2 deadlines. I'm Angela Guido, the founder of Career Protocol. You have landed on MBA Monday. And today I'm going to tell you all the milestones that you need to hit to be able to finish your application strong in round 2, even if you're just starting today. Whenever you're starting, whenever you're watching this video, how to get this done in time with grace and ease. Depending on when you're landing on this video, depending on when your deadline is, you've got maybe a lot of time, maybe a little bit of time. Either way, you're going to have to work hard to hit your MBA deadlines. The truth is, applying to business school is really a project management challenge. You've got so many moving parts, so many pieces, so many balls not to drop. You've got to manage other people, your recommenders. You've got to write essays. You've got to do short answers. I could go on and on and on and on. There's a lot to manage. So this video is going to cover a timeline about how you want to think about getting everything done, including key milestones and when you want to start each piece of the core foundation of your application so that you can get everything done in time. I'm going to start with when to start preparing for your application. Then I'm going to talk about the biggest milestone you're going to face, which is your test score. Second milestone is going to be getting your essays and personal statements done. Third is securing your recommendation letters. And the final milestone is finalizing the details of your application and hitting submit. I've got tips for each milestone, how to think about it, and how to fit it into a busy life in this MBA Monday. By the way, quick sidebar. If you applied in round 1 and you're about to apply in round 2 and you weren't successful in round 1, we have a whole video about how to bounce back from a failure in round 1. I'll link it right up there. Go check out that video if you're not just going for the first time, you're trying to stage a comeback. There are additional factors to consider and ways to boost your mood, so that video will give you a little bit of a hand. First question on your mind is probably, when should you start? When should you start preparing your application? Well, if you're watching this video right when it's out, it's the beginning of September. So the answer for you is now. You should start your application right now. If the deadlines are in early January and you're just coming into this MBA application process and it's early September, my recommendation to you is to get started right away. If you're catching this video a year later or a few months later, at whatever time you're catching this video, the ideal time to really truly begin the application process for whatever deadline you're applying for is around 6 to 8 months in advance. That gives you enough time to fully prepare for whatever test you're going to take. It gives you time to sort of leisurely explore your experiences and write your essays and coach your recommenders. So giving yourself a really long timeline is ideal. That said, we've had people start this entire process 3 weeks before their deadlines and finish 6 school applications, getting admitted to 3 of them successfully, including 2 M7 schools. That's like a hustle, extraordinary example. So anything is possible. If you've decided that an MBA is for you and the next deadline you're staring down is just a handful of weeks or months away, this video is still going to help you reach those deadlines if you follow our advice and do everything that you need to do to finish the application. But if time is on your side, whenever you're watching this video, start now. Start right now. Begin the process of preparing yourself for MBA applications so that you can hit milestone 1 as quickly as possible. Milestone 1 is, you guessed it, your test score. You're going to need a GMAT or a GRE, or in a few cases, an executive assessment to apply to almost every reputable MBA program. There are test waivers. There are schools that don't require the exam. If either of those scenarios is right for you, good for you. You can skip milestone 1 and move to milestone 2, but everybody else really needs to focus on getting the very best test score they can possibly get so that it becomes, at the very least, a neutral feature in your application and ideally a strength. We talk a lot about these test scores on this channel. So if you haven't chosen your test yet, if you haven't begun preparing, I recommend you check out this video right here in the corner. It's our masterclass on choosing the right test and approaching it the correct way. It's one of our most popular, most valuable videos. But we also have a lot of other resources related to these tests. I'm going to link some of them below in the description. The bottom line is you want to choose the test you're going to take, and you want to choose the right one for you. That's the first step. Don't take the default answer. Really think about which one's right for you. Again, instructions in the video I just referenced, how to choose the right test for you. And then you want to prepare. Most people are going to need somewhere between 6 and 12 weeks to prepare before they sit for the exam and are really ready and able to do the very best that they can do. Any longer than 12 weeks or 14 weeks, and either you've not dedicated yourself sufficiently, so you haven't cleared 10 to 15 hours in your week to prepare for the test, so you're doing it over a longer timeline, or there's something off in your preparation strategy. We've had clients who have spent 300 hours on a tool like Target Test Prep without seeing any motion in their test score in the upwards fashion whatsoever. If that's your situation, something has gone wrong. You're not making progress, which means your learning efforts are not producing results. So you want to make sure that you are time boxing your test prep and really, really making progress. There are a lot of test prep tools and preparation strategies that will work for you. I used to teach at Manhattan Prep. Here's a picture of me on the cover of the Word Problems book. But at this point, really any tool that teaches you both the content and the test-taking strategy will work. I'm going to link to a few more videos down below by our official career protocol GMAT guru, Brian, who is here to help you, whatever tool you choose, prepare in the best way possible for you and get the best score that's possible for you. I'm also going to link my time management video to help you think about how to fit the test into your busy life. That's down below as well. So use your time wisely, dedicate time to test preparation. If you have more than 3 months between now and your deadline, September, October, November, December, that's 4 months, you might want to take the next 2 months to really focus on test prep. But then with 2 months remaining, you're going to need to shift to milestone 2. Whether you're continuing to work on the test in parallel while you're approaching milestone 2 really depends on where you're at, but you're going to definitely want to leave at least 2 months, if you can, for milestone 2, which is your essays and your personal statement. The reason it's important to give yourself as long of a timeline as possible to work on this aspect of your application is because it will really, really, really benefit from iteration. So when you're approaching a set of essays, you really want to take the time to think through what is your best answer. You want time to try a couple of different things, revise your responses, enhance them, improve them, tweak them, ideally get feedback, potentially from a coach. By the way, if you'd like the Career Protocol team to be your coach, join our community at this link right here, careerprotocol.com/join, and you can find out about the Authentic MBA Application Catalyst program that will help you submit all the applications you need to do in the time that you've got within a supportive community with lots and lots of group coaching. But even if you're not going to work with us, if you're going to have your friends or family help you review your essays, they need to have a little bit of time to react, to give you feedback, and then for you to act on that feedback and improve the essay. And so you really want to give yourself plenty of time to work on those essays. The essays are, you want to think of them as a marathon. You want to do a little bit each week, every couple of days. And if you do that and you really continue to apply yourself to answering those questions authentically, doing the research that you need to do to round out your personal statement, figuring out your career game plan, check down below for links about that one, you will really make sure that those aspects of your application are as strong as they can possibly be. Milestone 3 is securing awesome recommendation letters. We've got lots of videos on this channel about recommendation letters. You can check out one I just did right there about recommender problems and fixes, and that gives you a great overview of what you're dealing with when it comes to recommenders. But the recommender milestone comes online at the same time as the essays and personal statements do. That is going to be roughly with 2 months remaining before your deadline. So if you're hustling for early January round 2 deadlines, you really want to kick off the recommender process, get your recommenders to agree to write on your behalf, and start getting them prepared for the task by the beginning of November. That's the ideal scenario so that they have plenty of time to fit it into their calendar. You can definitely do it earlier than that. If you want to ask them 4 months in advance, 5 months in advance, 6 months in advance, not a bad idea. But giving them at least 2 months ensures that they have enough time to get the task done without being too put out by time pressure. Once you've got these big pieces in place, your test score, your essays and personal statements, and your recommendation letters, it's time to move on to the 4th and final milestone, which is putting it all together and hitting submit. So if you've started your application profile, you've created your account, you've given them your email, and you have begun to look at all the questions that accompany the application totally separate from the essays, you're going to see it's kind of a lot. You've got to give them information about your grades, your test scores, your companies, your salary, your job changes, your challenges. Even your family background is included for some schools. There are a lot of minutia that go into the final application before you hit submit. These are going to be important, but not necessarily challenging. So bring these online in the last month or maybe even the last 2 weeks before it's time to submit your applications. I encourage you to at least look at the whole application early on when you're getting started on the essays, but filling out all those tiny little pieces of the application, that's what you can save closer to the end when you've iterated on your essays, you've coached your recommenders, the end is in sight, you're getting ready to submit this beautiful package that you've created representing you in your very best light. You're going to need to upload your transcripts from your undergraduate institutions and any other academic institutions. So that's something you might want to get out of the way earlier. But with respect to the rest of the application, tying it all together in a bow and hitting submit, that comes online in the last 2 weeks. And of course, hitting that submit button is your final milestone en route to your round 2 deadlines. Make sure you do a final proofread of everything. I recommend you print out everything that you can and read it out loud to make sure that you're catching any typos or errors, which, by the way, probably won't be a deal breaker in the end, but, why leave it to chance? Do your best to make sure there are no little errors before you hit submit, and you'll be able to rest easy come January 4th, 5th, or 6th after you've hit that button and turned your destiny over to the admissions committee to make their decisions. By the way, if you've got fewer than 6 weeks to get this all done, we've got a special video just for you. If you're encountering this with only 6 weeks or fewer before your deadline, check out that video right there, which gives you a strategy to get everything I just said done in even less time than you might have thought. All right, that is your high-level round 2 hustle timeline. I hope I've outlined a process that makes this more approachable for you and easier to follow. Please be sure to check out all the many resources I'm linking below. This video kind of brings together everything we're talking about so that you can get everything done in time. So now I have a question for you. What is your biggest challenge in reaching your MBA deadlines? I'm really curious. What is causing the most anxiety? What is causing you the most stress when you look at your calendar with respect to getting your MBA applications done? I really want to hear from you. Please leave me a comment down below. And if you have an idea for a video that would help you hit your deadlines in time, please let me know that as well. Meanwhile, while you're down there, hit that subscribe button so that you don't miss another MBA Monday. I'm going to be here with you almost every week between now and your deadlines so that you can not only hit them, but you can get into the MBA program of your choice on the other side. I will see you next week on MBA Monday. Go get them! Love it.